This conference will now
I
be
am
recorded.
Narasimha Reddy. I have total 12 years of experience in database and ETL development along with the Azure data engineering. So have been working as a technical lead, senior technical lead in the one of the MNC company. And currently I am working was the different scenario like different services in the clouds domain. So that is Azure related services and Fabric related services. So welcome to introductory session to the Azure data engineering and data engineering with the Microsoft Fabric. So this is about my introduction. So if you want to introduce about yourself, I can wait for 1 minute. Otherwise, we can get started. Okay, I can jump into another slide. Yeah, so today we are going to discuss about the Azure data engineering with the Fabric. So before going to the Azure data engineering, so what is data engineering? Basically, we have the lot of domains, right? So why we need to learn the Azure data engineering only? We have the different clouds, we have the different cloud services available in the market. But why we are focusing on the data engineering itself? So before going to the data engineering, so we should know about the data. So coming to myself, like I have these certifications like a DP 600 and DP 700 and DP 800. So DP 600 is the Fabric Analytics Engineer Associate, 700 is the Fabric Data Engineer Associate, and 800 is the SQL AI Developer Associate. So these are all the certifications I have been completed. Okay, so let me start with the data. So what is data? Data nothing but it is the information. Let's say our mobile phone, right? We are browsing any browser, or we are seeing the photos or videos, audio, text files, some listening music, something like that. Okay, so that is also a data. Images are photos, that is the data. Text files, data. Okay, audio files, it is also the data. Videos, it is also the data. Let's say we can consider one example. Nowadays, we are using the OTT apps, right? So, how many you guys have knows about the OTT apps? I hope everyone knows about the OTT apps, right? Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar, right? Aha, something like that. These are all the OTT platforms, right? So these OTT platforms also involving the data. So we are processing the data. So the process of processing the data, that is the data engineering. So what is the main important role in the data? Nowadays, we have data at everywhere. In our mobile phones, we are storing the files like some documents, some photos, videos, audios, some music files, something like that, right? So that is also a kind of data, right? So basically, data engineering nothing but practice of designing and building systems that collect the data and storing the data and processing the large scale data, that is called the data engineering. So we are gathering the data from multiple sources, whether like external files or Excel files, something like that. Let me open Notepad. I will explain you clearly. Just a second. Yeah. Hope you are seeing my screen on Notepad, right? We have the multiple sources. So from these multiple sources, we are collecting the data. We are collecting the data. Once we have collecting the data, we have collected the data, store the data. Store the data. So data in the sense information. Next, once we have stored the data, we can process the data. We can process the data. Once we have processed the data, business decisions, business related decisions, those can be displayed in the form of visuals or dashboards. Dashboards or visuals. Okay, so this is the kind of data engineering. So what do we cover the services in this domain? So we have covered the different Azure cloud services along with the fabric. So let me discuss about the Azure first. Post that we can discuss about the fabric. So why the fabric is came into this picture. So first of all, we do cover in this part of training program for data engineering with both Azure and Fabric. We do cover these many services, ma. SQL, that is a structured query language, SQL queries, that is SQL language, and Azure Data Factory. And third one is the ADLS Gen 2, that is the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and Azure Databricks. Next, Azure Synapse. Post that finally Fabric, Microsoft Fabric. Nowadays, very huge demanding technology is the Fabric. It is the one of the hot cake in the market. Okay, and finally for dashboards and visuals, whatever the business requirements we have, those business decisions or business requirements can be represented in the form of the charts and graphs or some kind of visuals. That is the Power BI. This is called the Power BI, Microsoft Power BI, for building the reports and dashboards. So these are the services we do cover in this training program. SQL, that is structured query language. We need to write the queries and we need to retrieve the data from multiple databases or multiple sources, something like that. That is SQL. And Azure Data Factory. This is the purpose of Azure Data Factory is, which is called the one of the ETL service. ETL nothing but extract. ETL nothing but extract. E stands for extract. Extract. T stands for transform. Transform. And L stands for load. This is called the ETL. ELT nothing but extract, load, and then transform. Extract, load, and transform. So this is called the ETL and ELT. So coming to the Azure Data Factory, this is the one of the integration service. Okay, are you following me, team? Are you following me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. So Azure Data Factory is the one of the ETL service that is called the codeless ETL service. We are not going to write any code, just it is a tool, drag and drop only. That is Azure Data Factory. Data Factory purpose is we need to integrate the data from multiple sources. Let's say, let us consider one example, ma. I have data in my local file system in the form of the Excel files. Okay. And some kind of data stored in the database tables. Okay. and some kind of data stored in the REST API. API nothing but application programming interface. That is called one of the REST API or web server. And some other data is stored in the MySQL database, something like that. So if I want to process my data based on the business kind of scenarios, I need to extract all these data. I need to extract the data from all these services and stored into the final target. Final target, nothing but some kind of the storage in the cloud. Some kind of storage in the cloud. So basically, what is the cloud here? Why the cloud is came into the picture? So basically, cloud nothing but accessing the services, to access the services over the internet. Over the internet. This is called the cloud. So what happening with the non-cloud technologies, that is called the legacy systems. Legacy nothing but older systems is called the legacy. So what is the problem we were seeing with the non-cloud services or non-cloud technologies? For every feature, we need to upgrade our device setup or machine setup. Let's say you have one mobile, ma. Okay, you have one mobile, that is some Realme or Vivo or iPhone, whatever it is. That is called some existing configuration, some 4 GB RAM, 64 GB internal memory or ROM, and a processor, some Snapdragon processor or Dimensity processor, whatever it is. After 1 year, there are some other advantages or features are added. So ultimately, we need to, if we want to utilize those new features, we need to purchase one more new mobile, right? So for the sake of this one, every time we purchase the device setup or every time we need to upgrade these kind of hardware setup or something like that, it will be a huge cost. It will be a taking huge cost. So to avoid that cost, to reduce the cost, the cloud service providers introducing the cloud platform, we can access the services within the world, at anywhere in the world, at any place, by using the internet. You have a good internet, you have a mobile, then also you can access the cloud services. But non-cloud services, let's say my laptop or machine or tab, whatever it is, I need to carry that machine, right? I need to carry that laptop or PC, whatever it is. If I want to work on non-cloud services, I need to carry the some kind of machinery, some PC or laptop or whatever it is. But without carrying any external equipment or any external machines, we can able to easily access the cloud services. That is called the cloud. These are the features over the non-cloud. So non-cloud is the costly and efficiency, I mean expensive. Costly nothing but non-cloud is the expensive, cloud is the inexpensive, less expensive, as well as high performance, high performance, and easily operating. We can operate easily, easily operable or operating, whatever it is, we can easily operating. Okay, that's why we are moving forward to the cloud services. Okay, let me come back to this one. So what is Azure Data Factory? So basically, data factory in the sense, which is called the ETL service: extract, transform, load. What is extract? Extract nothing but we are collecting the data from multiple sources. Okay, and once we have collected the data, we can apply the transformations, nothing but modifications. The modification purpose is at very first time we are getting the raw data. That raw data can be processed, that is called the transformed data. Once the transformed data, then we can load or store the data into Azure cloud storage. That is the transformation and loading. This is the ETL service, also called as the integration service. Integration nothing but we can integrate at one place, gathering the data from multiple sources and placed or stored at one place. Let's say how we are called raw data, how we are called clean data, how we are called load data, I mean gold data. So let's say, take one example, some vegetables. Okay, initially we went to market, we go for market and we can purchase the vegetables, right? Once we purchase the vegetables, are we consume those vegetables directly? Are we eating those vegetables directly? Can anybody say?
No, no, we'll process it and do it.
Yeah, so initially we purchase the vegetables in the market. Post that we can clean the vegetables, cutting the vegetables, preparing the curry, and serving the curry. Serving nothing but we are eating the curry and rice. In the same way, data, initially we are getting the data from multiple sources as the raw data. Once we received the raw data and we are collected the raw data, we can process the data. That is called the transformation. Once we have applied the transformation, we can store the data for analytics purpose. Analytics nothing but reporting purpose, means serving layer. So basically we have three layers ma. Three layers in the data engineering. One is the raw layer, that is called the bronze layer. Raw layer is called the bronze layer, processor layer is called the silver layer, and the serving layer is called the gold layer. Solving layer is called the gold layer. Bronze nothing but raw data. Silver nothing but cleaned data. If any null values are there, duplicate values are there, any unwanted formats are there, something like that, we can apply the transformations to that raw data and finally stored into the somewhere in the cloud storage. And gold data, gold nothing but once we have processed the silver data or cleaned data, we are gathering all the cleaned data tables at one place. That is called the gold layer. This is called the serving layer. Bronze is the raw layer. Bronze is the raw layer. Silver is the clean layer, cleaned data, or gold is the serving layer. Serving nothing but we can ready to eat. We can ready to eat nothing but we can use this gold data for business related dashboards and visuals using the one of the BI tool. So this is called the Azure data engineering. So this we have discussed about the Azure data factory ma. Next one, ADLS gen 2. ADLS nothing but Azure data lake storage generation 2. ADLS Gen 2 nothing but which is the one of the cloud storage. Whatever we are collecting the data by using Azure Data Factory, that either raw data or silver data, we can store in the ADLS Gen 2. Raw data and silver data we can store in the ADLS Gen 2. This is the one of the cloud storage. We will discuss more going forward whenever we get a chance to work on this. Okay. Next one, Azure Databricks. This is also one of the ETL tool, but Azure Databricks ADB. Coming to the Databricks, actually Databricks is the third party company. Databricks is the third party company. third party company. Azure is the cloud. This is the Microsoft cloud. This is the Microsoft cloud. Why we are commonly calling as Azure Databricks? So Databricks is the third party company. They don't have cloud, but they have the platform. Azure, they don't have the Databricks. They have the Azure cloud service provider. That is the Microsoft cloud. Okay. These two partners are collaborated. These two partners are collaborated. So Databricks, under the Databricks, which service providers are collaborated? Microsoft is collaborated. Amazon, AWS collaborated. Amazon also collaborated with the Databricks. Google also collaborated with the Databricks. SAP also collaborated with the Databricks. Why? SAP have own cloud. Google have own cloud. Amazon have own cloud. MSFT, Microsoft have own cloud. Microsoft cloud is the Azure. Amazon cloud is the AWS, Amazon Web Services. Google is the GCP, Google Cloud Platform. SAP is the SAP Cloud Platform. So all these service providers, they don't have the Databricks platform. Databricks is also a one of the ETL tool, but the difference here is in the Azure Data Factory, we are not using any coding, that is the drag and drop. But in the Databricks, we are using the code that is called the PySpark coding. That is called the PySpark or Apache Spark, whatever it is, Spark coding. So for all these services, initially we should know about the SQL itself. If you know SQL very well, you are able to easily working with the PySpark and Spark. Okay, I will guide you how can we learn these things. Okay, nothing to worry. So finally we conclude that Databricks is the one of the ETL service, but ADF also ETL service, ADV also ETL service. The difference is ADF can't support the analytics, just for data moving and data orchestration purpose only. But ADB can support the data analytics purpose as well as the transformations purpose. So by using the code, we can use the ETL service, that is the Azure Databricks. Without using the code, if you want to use the ETL service, that is the ADF. Okay. So we covered these things. SQL is done, Data Factory done, ADLS Gen 2 done, Azure Databricks is done. Finally, we coming to the Azure Synapse. Synapse nothing but that is the data warehousing purpose. Azure Synapse nothing but that is called the data warehousing. Data warehousing nothing but we want to store the gold data. We want to store the gold data. So initially, bronze data and silver data we are going to store in the ADLS Gen 2 cloud service as files. Okay, as files. If you want to store data in the Databricks related tables, we can use the tables also. That is fine. If you want to store the data as files, we can use the ADLS Gen 2. We can use the ADLS Gen 2. If you want to store it as the tables, we can use the Azure SQL database, or Databricks Delta tables. Okay, don't confuse. We will cover each and everything, whatever required for the training. Okay, Synapse and bronze silver data stored in the ADLS Gen 2 and gold data stored in the warehouse. Why we are using these two for the ADLS Gen 2 and gold for the data warehouse? So even for ADLS Gen 2 or Azure SQL database or SQL Server on-premise SQL database, all those are having the limited storage, that is storage limit. But data warehouse doesn't have any storage limit. We can store the unlimited storage. We can store the data unlimitedly, unlimited storage. final aggregated data, that is called the gold data. Some average, min, max counts, some kind of business perspective metrics we can use in the gold layer. This is called the Azure Synapse layer, Synapse service. Within the Synapse, we can work with the ADF, we can work with the ADF, we can work with the Spark or PySpark, Spark or PySpark. We can work with the table, sorry, visuals or dashboards or whatever it is. So ADF, Databricks, all these two services, ADLS Gen 2, these three, ADF, ADLS Gen 2, Databricks, all these three integrated into the single service. This is called the Azure Synapse. Till Azure Synapse, we have different services. I mean, we have different portals, like how can I say, different services, different workspaces. ADF have own workspace, ADLS Gen 2 have storage accounts, ADB have separate workspace. But while coming into the Synapse, all these three services are integrated. That is called the integrated Azure Analytics platform. That is the Azure Synapse Analytics. This is for the gold layer purpose. Data warehousing. Database have the limited storage. Data warehousing have the unlimited storage. That's why we are preferring the storing the final data, that is gold data, in the warehouse. Okay. Any doubts till now? Tim, any doubts now? Otherwise, I can move to another slide.
Hi. Why separate layers are introduced? They can't be in one system like
Yeah,
ADLS
that's
Gen.
yeah. Till at very beginning stages, the cloud service providers have the separate layers for ADF separate workspace, ADL Gen 2 separate workspace, ADB separate workspace. But post this Synapse also, for this Synapse, all three layers, all three services integrated, but still some features are missing. That's why Microsoft has introduced the Fabric. You mean you are asking about services or raw silver and gold layers?
Yeah, the layers difference because ADLF has only those two layers you mentioned, right? That silver and gold are in one layer, bronze and
Huh.
silver are in one layer. Why gold is serving other layer? That is.
Yeah, actually, gold layer we are coming using as the tables, but ADL Gen 2 doesn't support the table structure, which is supporting the file structure only. CSV files, Excel files, Parquet files, ORC, Avro, these kind of file storage in the ADL Gen 2. But gold is coming as the tables, database tables. So those tables can be stored in the data warehouse.
Okay, got it.
If you combine all these in the one system, the data can be coming up with the messy nothing but this is called the medallion architecture. Medallion architecture. The combination of the bronze, silver, gold, these layers is called the medallion architecture. Medallion architecture nothing but separate layers. We can't we can't combine all the things at one place. Why? Because initial raw data is getting the different one, silver data is cleaned data, I mean duplicates, missing values, null values, and some other date formats. For example, date format is there in year, month, date, timestamp, hours, minutes, seconds. Sometimes only date format we are following, something like that. So to convert the date formats or data types, something like that, we can use the cleaned format, cleaning, goal nothing but finally serving for the analytics. This is called the medallion architecture. So to easily accessing the data, to perform the analytics ready, to make the data as analytics ready, we are maintaining these three layers. Clear?
Yeah, got it.
So till now we are using the different workspaces for the different cloud services, so that the collaboration, lot of collaboration effort is required. If you use the separate Azure SQL, if you use the separate ADF, use the separate ADL agent to Databricks, Synapse, for all these kind of things we need the lot of collaboration effort. Why? Because even though, if AI, let's come to the AI or Power BI analyst, data analyst, machine learning engineers, data scientist, or machine learning engineers, all these folks or all these developers required the final data, final gold data. So without this final goal data, no data scientist, no ML engineer, machine learning engineer, no AI engineer, no data analyst. So data engineer is playing a very crucial role in the current day situations. Why? Because if you know AI, right? Generative AI, agentic AI, something like that. Even that AI also requires the final gold data. How we can get the final gold data? We are the data engineers, we can prepare the final goal data, right? Without proper data, there is no AI, no machine learning, no deep learning, no data scientist, no analyst, no Power BI. That's why data engineer plays very important role in the current day market situations. Even remaining technologies, like I'm not judging any other technologies, just uh, pointing to our data engineering perspective. Recently some kind of opportunities are growing in the data domain compared to the other domains. .NET, okay, Java, Python full stack, testing, SAP, something like that. We have a lot of software jobs, right? Compared to all the jobs, data engineer jobs are having huge demand. For next 30 to 40 years, there is having huge jobs in the data engineering. Compared to last 3 years, in the current day situations, data engineer opportunities are increasing. Everywhere we are data. How can we manage the data? How can we handle the data? Even if you want to create AI agents, for that also we need the data. How can we need the data? How can we process the data? Data engineers can process the data. Okay. So coming to the fabric, this is called the Microsoft Fabric. All the Azure cloud services, whatever we have maintained the previously separate workspaces, all these are combined into the single SaaS platform. SaaS nothing but software as a service, just ready to use platform. Ready to use platform, that is the Fabric. And coming to the Power BI, which is the data reporting nothing but business related scenarios. Let me jump onto the another slide. Yeah, this is the basically Azure data engineering architecture. So before going to the Azure data engineering architecture, I just wanted to give a few valuable things. So even if you don't know the basics, then also you can get the data engineer job. Even if you don't know the ABCD alphabets also, data engineering you can get the good job. Very easiest and high demand technology in the current day market. Azure or any data engineering domain. Okay. So let me go to the architecture for the Azure data engineering. These are the different sources, files, APIs, database tables, all the data stored in the different sources. I want to ingest the data. Ingest nothing but collecting the data using Azure Data Factory. Once we have collected the data from ADF, we can store in the ADLS Gen 2 Azure Data Lake Storage as files and folders. Files and folders. That is the ADLS Gen 2 cloud storage. Once we have stored the data, we can apply the transformations using PySpark or Spark. PySpark nothing but Python plus Spark. Let me explain. Basically, within the Databricks platform, this is also the one of the ETL service. We are using the PySpark or Spark Spark R language. Spark R language. So, under the Databricks, Apache introduced the Spark framework for distributed and parallel processing. Distributed and parallel data processing. For parallel processing purpose, we are using the Apache Spark. Okay. Python plus Spark, that is PySpark. Scala nothing but Java second version. I mean Java mirroring is the Scala language. So Scala plus Spark is the Spark. R language plus Spark is the Spark R. If you know any one language, Python or Java or R language, if you know any one language, you can easily work in the Apache Spark. It is not the coding, just some kind of scripting only. It is not the development coding or C++, 1,000 lines of code, not something like that. Just 2 to 3 lines of code we need to use for the data ingestion. For transformation, 5 to 6 lines. For reporting, we are using the BI tool. That's it. Not we are not going to write thousands or lakhs of code. It is just small pieces of code only. Okay. By using the Python language, we can connect to the Apache Spark. By using the Scala language, we can connect to the Apache Spark. By using the R language, we can connect to the Apache Spark for distributed and the parallel processing. So to improve the high performance, to increase the speed of operating, to increase the speed of execution of the jobs, we are using the Databricks platform. That is called the Apache Spark. Okay. And Spark, Delta or ML, machine learning, we can work with the machine learning tasks also in the Databricks. We can work with the Spark related also using the Databricks. Finally, serving layer, that is the Synapse SQL or the Power BI. Serving layer nothing but Synapse, those final goal data stored in the form of tables in Synapse warehouse, that is post that, but the Synapse server can be given as input to the Power BI. Then the reports and dashboards we can build in. Okay. Next, finally, security. Security nothing but we need to provide the security to our data. That is the different thing. We can cover each and everything. Okay, going forward. Next one, different sources. Okay, Azure Data Factory, ADLS Gen 2, Databricks, Synapse, Power BI. Whatever we have discussed till now, all these things are defined here as the some kind of perspectives. Okay, Data Factory. So how we can work with the Data Factory? Okay, so ETL service, ingesting. So moving data from one place to another place, that is called the copying. Okay, so these are the different Data Factory components. Now, linked services nothing but connection to the sources. Okay, copy activity, moving the data from one place to another place, that is a copy. Data flows, triggers nothing but automatically executing the jobs, that is the scheduled. Every day I need to run that particular job. So without manually running the job, automatically that kind of jobs are executing. That is the trigger. And integration runtime. This is one of the connecting environments in the Azure cloud. parameters, variables, expressions, all these things are the dynamic ways to define the activities. These are the core components in the Azure Data Factory. While we are discussing with the Azure Data Factory, then we can easily understand each and everything clearly. Okay. Next, layers ma. In the ADLS Gen 2, we can use bronze, silver, and gold. Okay, for gold, we can use file system as well as the table system. Okay, for gold, we can use file system or table system, but better to use gold layer as the table system in the Synapse warehouse. Bronze is the raw layer, silver is the clean layer, gold is the curated layer or business ready layer. Business ready nothing but using the gold data, we can prepare the dashboards. Next, Databricks ma. Databricks also we can connect the data. Okay, using the Databricks, we can connect to the stored ADLS Gen 2 storage, process the data, and save the data. Finally, we can make either file storage or Delta Lake tables storage, database tables storage. Next, coming to the Microsoft Fabric. So basically, what is Fabric? Till now, we have seen different services, right, ma? Till now, we have seen different services, right? Azure Data Factory, ADLS Gen 2, Azure SQL Database, Databricks, Synapse. All these services are integrated into the single application that is called the Microsoft Fabric. Any doubts, ma? Before going to the Microsoft Fabric, I just wanted to ask you. So, any doubts, or we are good?
They're good.
So, feel free to ask the questions. If you don't want to disturb the class or session, you just drop a message over the chat. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for confirming. So coming to this Microsoft Fabric, till now we are maintaining the different workspaces for the different cloud services. For that, we are facing some challenges and facing issues with the collaborations. Collaborations, nothing but we are the data engineers, ma. Okay, we can prepare the final gold data for business related some analytics ready purpose. That data can utilize the Power BI experts, data analysts, data scientists, machine learning engineers, AI engineers. So see how these guys are depending on us. These many job roles are depending on us, right? There is no data engineer, no world, no data engineering, no AI engineer, no ML engineer, no Power BI engineer. Not only Power BI, Tableau, ClickView, ClickSense, IBM Cognos, IBM Data Stage, like that. Lot of tools are there. All the tools are depending on the data only. Without proper data, there is no meaning, right? So this Microsoft Fabric, the purpose of Microsoft Fabric came into the market as to improve the performance, to reduce the collaboration effort. Collaboration nothing but once we are ready with the data, ML engineers can consume the data. They need permissions to our data, right? Power BI data analysts also consuming that our data. They also need to work closely with us. Azure DevOps team also, they are also need to work closely with us. So these many teams are depending on us. So to avoid that collaboration effort, to reduce the time wastage, the Microsoft has launched the Fabric platform. There is no different here. Whatever we have covered the services till now, all those services are integrated into the one place and renamed the services. That's it. Azure Data Factory has been renamed as the Data Factory. Data engineering, nothing but Databricks has been renamed as the data engineering. Data warehouse, Synapse Analytics has been renamed as the data warehouse. ML and machine learning and data science has been renamed as the data science. Real-time intelligence, that is the some Kusto query language, some kind of events real-time data or live streaming. If you go to the OTT platforms, those are the live streaming channels, right? For that case, live streaming purpose, we can use the real-time intelligence. Next, databases. Azure SQL database or SQL Server databases. SQL Server is the on-premise, that is non-cloud. Azure SQL is the cloud. Industry solutions, Power BI. Till now, we are maintaining all these services as the different services. But post, we are seeing the multiple issues regarding the collaboration, regarding the access issues, regarding the time reductions, these kind of things. The Microsoft has introduced the Microsoft Fabric. This is the very huge demand technology in the current market. For the next 20 to 30 years, it will be a very huge demand. It will be having huge demand. That is the Microsoft Fabric. If you know that Azure Data Factory, you can easily work with the data factory in the Fabric. If you know the Databricks and the PySpark or SQL, you can work in the data engineering. If you know the Synapse in the sense, again Azure Data Factory, storage account, Databricks, Spark, PySpark, SQL, those only we are using in the data warehouse. Data science, machine learning, we are not going to work in the data science related stuff. Once we are ready with the final data in the data warehouse, this data warehouse is the gold layer. This gold layer can be utilized as the data scientists and Power BI related analysts. And OneLake, whatever we have covered the ADLS gen 2 na, whatever we have covered the ADLS gen 2, Azure Data Lake Storage gen 2, this has renamed as the OneLake. There is no difference. Till now we have maintained the different containers in the storage account, but this is called the centralized storage. For data factory also, it utilize the OneLake storage. Data engineering utilize the OneLake storage. Warehouse, data science, intelligence, databases, industry solutions, Power BI, all these kind of services utilize the OneLake data. OneLake nothing but centralized single storage account. What we have seen the issue in the ADLS gen 2, for ADLS gen 2 we had to maintain the separate containers to avoid that manual effort. Microsoft Fabric has using the OneLake platform. This is the OneLake, nothing but centralized storage, single storage for the all the services. That is called the OneLake. Next, Microsoft Purview, nothing but data governance. Data governance, nothing but whoever been working on the data platforms, those will have the access, and third party users or third party platforms not able to access the data. So finally, we can able to provide the security to the data. That is called the Microsoft Purview, providing the governance nothing but security to our cloud services, our cloud data. That is called the Microsoft Purview. Okay, so let me jump onto another slide. You can easily understand this picture. Hope you are seeing this one, Fabric Compute Engines. Let's say I have data, that data stored in the Azure SQL database and some other ADLS gen 2 before Fabric. I have data in ADLS gen 2 and Azure SQL database and on-premise SQL, PostgreSQL, MySQL, something like that. My data is residing in these many different storage database storages. I want to integrate the data. So after Fabric is came into the market, without copying the data directly, we are mirroring the databases. Mirroring nothing but entire database we are mirrored nothing but virtual. We can read the data instead of moving the data here and there. We can directly connecting to the Azure SQL database, not only Azure SQL database, any SQL database, for read only purpose. Read only nothing but we are retrieving or reading the data. Let's say if you want to copy the data in some storage account, the cost will be applicable, ma. The cost will be applicable for all these services. Cost will be applicable. So to reduce the cost, improve the performance, mirroring will be came. Mirroring nothing but without moving or copying data from here and there, we directly connecting to this kind of SQL databases from the Microsoft Fabric. That is called the mirroring. See this one: data factory, data engineering, data science, Spark. For data engineering we can use the Spark nothing but either PySpark or Spark Scala or Spark R. Mostly we are preferring the two things only, ma. One is the PySpark, other one is the Spark Scala. Very easiest language. Okay. Next, data warehousing. This is the T-SQL, transaction SQL, some kind of native SQL. Okay, transaction SQL script, create, alter, drop, truncate, something like that. We do cover all these things. Okay, real time nothing but this is the live streaming data, man. Streaming data, live real data. That is the real time intelligence. Power BI for the analysis services, nothing but generating the dashboards and reports purpose. Okay, this OneLake nothing but Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Okay, we can connect to any sources. Even Amazon S3 nothing but simple storage service. That is the one of the cloud storage in the Amazon. Okay, Dataverse, Google Cloud Storage, Amazon S3 compatible, on-premise sources. We can access data from any sources. That is the advantage of the Fabric. Till now, we have some limitations in the ADLS Gen 2. To avoid that limitations, we bring, I mean, Microsoft has bring that OneLake. This is the OneLake, centralized storage for all the services. Say this one: Fabric experiences, data factory, data engineering, warehouse, real-time live data, Power BI. Okay, single storage layer. That is the OneLake. Next, OneLake shortcuts nothing but that is one of the thing. So let me explain about the shortcut. So for SQL database related, we are using the mirroring, right? Instead of copying or moving data from here and there, we are using mirroring. But shortcut nothing but files level, file system storage there now in the ADL Gen 2. So without copying or moving, directly creating the shortcut, we can read the data from external storage services, external storage systems. Let me explain that. What is storage here? We have three clouds, right? Azure cloud, okay, AWS cloud, okay, GCP cloud. For Azure, the storage account is the ADLS Gentuma. Okay, for AWS cloud, storage is the S3 bucket, S3 bucket. For GCP, the storage service is the GCS, Google Cloud Storage. There is no guarantee to maintain one particular one particular company or one particular project maintaining data in only ADLS Gen 2. They will earlier in the past days or earlier they have been used S3 bucket. Now they wanted to migrate from AWS S3 to ADLS Gen 2 or Fabric OneLake. They can migrate from GCS to ADLS Gen 2, something like that. For all these kind of advanced features will support in the Fabric. Okay, earlier we have some limitations. All those limitations have been reduced are, I mean, all those limitations have been cleared and implemented as the new feature. Simple thing, ma. Azure data engineering, but Azure data engineering nothing but without AI. Fabric data engineering, but nothing but with AI. Simple thing. In previous Azure data engineering services, whatever so far we discussed, ADL, Gen 2, ADF, ADB, all those things are without AI. Fabric nothing but with AI. So AI related features also enabled in the Fabric. If you don't know the code, nothing to worry. In the Fabric, we have the Copilot Studio. If you chat nothing but if you prompt, let's say for example, I can show one simple example, ma. Just a second. Chat GPT. Let me open this chat GPT. Are you seeing my screen? Chat GPT I have opened. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are able to see.
Yeah. So write a SQL code to find third highest salary. Something like that. I have written this now. Okay. Third highest salary. This is the Chat GPT is the one of the AI tool for prompting and response. We are giving the question to Chat GPT. It will give the answer to us, right? In the same way, these kind of AI features enabled in the Fabric. Say this one, it is giving the different ways, right? Third highest salary using the rank function, dense rank function, that is called the window function. Rank equal to 3, third highest salary. If rank equal to 2, second highest salary. If rank equal to 1, first highest salary. Okay, something like this. It is, the code is given, right? In the same way, whatever the Fabric we are discussing right away, that Fabric has been enabled the AI related features also. You no need to write the code. Sometimes you can able to write the code, okay fine, but it is the automated thing also. I what I was saying that I am pointing to the AI related features also. The purpose of Fabric is, even along with the earlier Azure services, the AI related services also enabled here. We can leverage those services. If you don't know the code also, fine, it will give the code. You can copy into your notebook, you can test it, you can customize the code, right? But we should know the basics, ma. That is also like I can tell you, we should know the basics. This is also one of the advantage. So finally we conclude that the Fabric perspective is to improve the performance, to reduce the manual effort, to increase the automation, to enable the AI features, to collaborate the teams nothing but Azure DevOps team, Power BI team, ML team, data science team, something like that. So the collaboration also very easily. Instead of maintaining the separate workspaces, you need the separate permissions also, right? ADLS separate, ADB separate, ADF separate, Synapse separate. For all these kind of things, we need the permissions also. But in the case of Fabric, once you have the access to the Fabric, you can be easily work in any service in the Fabric. Any service in the Fabric. Basically, we have three different roles, ma, in the Azure. Owner nothing but like a admin, ma. Owner, contributor, viewer or reader. Reader nothing but only reading. He can't made any data changes. Only reading the data. He can able to see the data only. Okay, contributor nothing but he can modify the data, he can read the data. Owner nothing but full access, he can give access to another resource persons also, he can have the access. Okay, we can go through these in going forward very clearly, ma. For now, for understanding purpose, I am discussing these things. Okay, so this is about the Microsoft Fabric. Coming to this one, Fabric and OneLake shortcuts. Okay. So files, semi-structured, unstructured, structured data. So structured data, nothing but the data is in the combination of rows and columns, like a Excel sheet or database table. That is called some structured data. Unstructured, nothing but images, audio, video, text files. All these are the unstructured data. Semi-structured, nothing but JSON data. JSON, nothing but key value pairs. JSON, nothing but, let me show. So customer ID, okay, one. So key value pairs. This is the key. Left side of the column is the key. Right side of the column is the value. Customer ID, address, okay, address, nothing but some kind of flat number or some other thing. 503 or whatever it is, okay. Address, city, city is the Hyderabad, okay. So this is called the semi-structured data. Structured is the tabular format, rows and columns. Unstructured, nothing but audio, video, images, text. Semi-structured, nothing but JSON data. JavaScript object notation, that is called the JSON data. Key value pairs. If you know the Python, they simply call the dictionary data. Key value data, okay. Delta tables, okay. SQL endpoint, Power BI consumption, something like this. Is the Fabric Lakehouse. Next, Fabric Data Factory. Whatever the features in the Azure Data Factory, all the features covered in the Fabric Data Factory also. But along with the extra features, 97% Azure Data Factory, Fabric Data Factory, both are same, nothing to change. But compared to Azure Data Factory, Fabric Data Factory is easy. Why? Because some kind of manual effort is reduced in the Fabric Data Factory. If you know the Azure Data Factory, you can easily work in the Fabric Data Factory. Nothing is different here. Same kind, 97% similar things only, but 2 to 3% are the extra added features are there in the Fabric Data Factory. That is the thing, okay. Next, Fabric Data Engineering notebooks. So notebook, nothing but Python or Spark language. We are able to write the queries. Next, warehouse and T-SQL. T-SQL, nothing but copy command, okay, rollback, commit, and some kind of create table if not exist. Some kind of SQL features only. Don't worry, we will cover those things, okay. Finally, real-time intelligence, events data, live streaming data. Live streaming data is called the event data, okay. Azure Databricks versus Fabric. When to use Azure Databricks, when to use Fabric. Even Fabric also covers the Azure Databricks related stuff, nothing but the Spark related stuff. Okay. Even we can connect to Azure Databricks related tables or data or files from the Fabric also. So these are the different advantages. End to end, nothing but initially files or tables data. By using ADF or Fabric Data Factory, we can ingest the data. We can store the data in ADLS Gen 2 or OneLake. ADLS Gen 2 is for the Azure perspective. OneLake is for the Fabric perspective. Databricks or Fabric Spark. In the Azure related stuff, we are using the Databricks. In the Fabric perspective, Fabric Spark. Gold plus semantic model. Semantic model, nothing but which is the business analytics ready purpose. Okay. And production ready. CI/CD integration. These are all the DevOps related stuff. Okay. I will cover the CI/CD pipelines also. Some kind of Azure DevOps also I will cover. Okay. Finally, these are the key takeaways. Like any questions or any doubts. Any doubts now? So one thing I can say, yeah, hi. Yeah, hi, Jyoti. Please tell me. One thing I can say strongly, even though if you don't know the basics, we can easily migrate to the Azure Data Engineering. If you know the basics of Azure, you can easily understood in the Fabric. We do cover all the things, ma. I can start from very scratch. SQL, initially we are going to start the SQL language. Once done, Azure Data Factory, we can move it to ADF. Once done, ADLS Gen 2. Parallelly, ADF and ADLS Gen 2, we can cover those two in the parallelly. Why? Because while working with the ADF, we need the ADLS Gen 2 also. That's fine. Next, Azure Databricks.
Hello.
Next, Azure Synapse. Next, finally, Fabric. Finally, Power BI. These are the services we do cover in the training program.
Hi,
Apart from
Narasimhan.
these services, yeah, please go ahead, Jyoti.
Uh, See, I am from database background. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
need to miss from the uh, foundation. I need data engineering foundation actually. So
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
sure.
something?
We do cover those all the foundation related stuff.
Okay. So yeah, it will be help for me actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
sure.
Narasimhan.
Yeah, no issue. You are welcome. We do cover all the things from very scratch nothing but foundations, Azure fundamentals, data engineer fundamentals, SQL. We can provide the 100% inputs, ma. But not only depends on me, it will depends on you guys also. You should please practice the things daily, then only we can get the opportunities. Okay, we do cover the interview questions. We will provide the interview questions, we will provide the mock interviews, we will support the resume preparation, mock interviews. Okay, projects also, two capstone projects also we will cover. One is the Azure data engineering project, second one is the Fabric data engineering project. Okay, one is the Azure data engineering project, second one is the Fabric data engineering project. We do cover two capstone projects, not a small projects. It is the large projects only. Once you are able to work on those projects, then you can be easily get in number of opportunities.
Sir, what was the class timings every day?
Every day 7:30 to 8:30.
Okay, sir. After completing the class, you will provide the recording session also.
Yeah, sure, definitely we'll provide the recording session.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So how many
Any
months, sir,
more
the
doubts?
course duration is?
Sorry,
How many months the course duration is?
mostly 3 months.
Okay, 3 months. Okay, fine. In these 3 months only, you will cover two real-time projects, which is
Yes,
helpful for getting
yes,
a job.
yes. All the services. So far, what I have covered the services: SQL, ADLS Gen 2, ADF, Databricks, PySpark, Synapse, Fabric, Power BI, along with the two capstone projects also. In these 3 months only, I'll will cover all the things from scratch onwards.
Okay,
We
sir.
will
Okay,
provide
sir.
the quality trainings only. Okay, each and
Okay.
everything clearly we will provide, ma. Deep diving sessions. It's not a
Okay,
shortcut
sir.
or something like that. Deep diving sessions. But my
Yeah.
request for you guys is, yeah, please go ahead, Likit.
Oh, sorry, sir. If you have any doubts in the ongoing sessions, how we can approach on those doubts, sir,
Yeah, by
after
the end of
completing
the
our
session
class.
also. Yeah, by
Yeah.
the end of the session also you can approach, or during the session also, if you don't want the disturbing the class or session, you can simply
Hmm.
drop out the message in the chat window. I can see
Okay.
and I'll going to give the reply to those questions.
Okay. At the end of the session, we will clarify all the
Yes,
doubts, right? Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
We will cover each and everything, ma. So once completed the 2 to 3 services, we can start preparing the resume, and we can
Mhm.
start the trials interview calls. Okay, Once we have completed the 2 to 3 services, SQL, ADF, ADB, post that you can start attending the interview calls. Then you can
Yeah.
get the interview questions. If you have any doubts, approach me. Then it will be helpful. Instead of
So,
waiting the entire data engineering completion, you can start preparing the interview and giving the interviews once completing the data breaks. In the Synapse, Fabric, Power BI, you can easily work on that. Yeah, please go ahead, Likit. Sorry.
okay, no problem, sir. So I don't have any idea about Azure fundamentals actually. So I'm working on legacy ETL Informatica Power Center for last
Okay,
4 years. So
nothing to
is
worry.
it, yeah, I mean, like you will cover all the Azure fundamentals which is needed for
Yes,
this course, right?
we do cover all the Azure fundamentals from starting.
No,
Okay,
okay.
nothing to worry,
Yeah.
ma. If you, it is not a matter. Even if you are working in the non-IT background, if you are working in the some other backgrounds, or if you are not in the IT industry, or if you are already in the IT industry, it is not a matter. We do
Okay.
cover whatever the real employee or real data engineer having the 4 to 5 years of experience now. That much of knowledge we are providing you guys.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Even, yeah, even if you go with the 4 years experience as data engineer, then also you can be able to easily work on the things.
Okay.
Okay. Once you have selected some other companies or some other projects or something like that, compared to existing people in their company, you will be a good enough to working on that one. I mean, what I am trying to say, ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ పీపుల్ ఉంటారు కదా, వాళ్ళకంటే మీకే ఇంకా నాలెడ్జ్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది అని చెప్తున్నాను నేను. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్
Okay.
ఐఎమ్
Okay.
ట్రైంగ్ టు సే యూ గైస్. ఓకే,
Okay.
బట్ మై రిక్వెస్ట్ ఈస్ ఎవ్రీడే సెషన్ you should practice the things, otherwise we can't remember, ma. Why? Because we are using the different services, right? Every day whatever the session we have covered today, that session immediately you can practice the things, then only you can get the good knowledge. We do cover
Yeah.
entire knowledge, whatever you are surviving as the 4 years or 5 years experience in the data engineering na, that much of knowledge we do cover. Okay, any doubts or any queries?
Sorry, I don't know about the course fee. So can you
Yeah,
discuss about the
yeah,
technicals?
admin will tell you, Likit. Okay,
Okay.
those details we can
Yeah.
collect from the admin. Okay,
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
remaining people, you have any challenges or any issues, please feel to approach me. Okay.
Narsima, actually, see, every day we have the office actually. So you are talking about 7:30 to 8:30 the classes, na? Sometimes
Mhm.
I'll be not available. Kind of, you know that every time we have the activity and we have to busy on that. So on that
Yeah,
situation, what should I means? Is there any weekend class or something?
yeah.
Means,
If you interested, we can
yeah.
plan for 2 days offline classes as well.
Okay, yeah. I have means I need that actually.
Yeah, if you guys, not only for one specific person, if anybody is interested to attend offline, we do cover 2 days in offline sessions also.
Yeah, I
Depends
need
on
that.
your interest. Okay.
Okay. To whom I have to contact on that? Means directly you or is there any
Admin.
admin? Okay.
Yeah.
Who is that guy actually? I don't have idea. Okay. Kiran.
Kiran.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You can reach out to Kiran. Okay. See, my interest is not regarding the fees, ma. So my interest is I want to provide 100% knowledge to you guys. Okay. That is my aim. You should get multiple offer letters, ma. But you are in the initial stage, right? But something somehow you are having some tense or something like that. You are being the some kind of situation, but not a matter. Once once completion of 1 month training, then you are only you can say, okay, you are only saying, hey, I can crack multiple offers like that. That much of confidence we are going to provide. Okay, nothing to worry, ma. Even it is not the background or it is not the related to the subject and not the things. Even if you are just a fresher also, just came from the college also, just passed out also, irrespective of that one, you can get good knowledge on the Azure data engineering and the fabric. I will be assuring 200%, ma. I will be assuring 200%. You will get definitely multiple offer letters. But my request is, please do following the daily class sessions. If you attend the 2 days, if you miss the remaining 2 days, you will miss the flow definitely, ma. Okay, so there will be a linking system, one service to another service. There will be a linking. It is the not the individual thing, no? It is the chaining system. If one chain breaks, what will happen? Entire system will collapse, right? In the same way, even if you missed 1 or 2 classes, I am requesting you guys, please go through the previous recording sessions, like whatever you have missed the sessions, go through those and jump into the new sessions. That is the thing. Clear? Nirmala, Kiran, Lakshmi, Sharif, Amit, Jyotirajan, Ranjan, Meghana, Likit,
How many?
Swat.
Yeah. Hello, Nasima. So, how many years of the videos will be available to us to see in our drive or
Sorry.
something you have shared? I mean, how many years the videos you are sharing, recorded videos you will share, right? So those are available to us.
We'll
Yeah.
give download access. You can download every day. Okay, that will permanent.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so in tomorrow's session, I will cover the one real-time examples for data engineering, ma. So just today is the introductory session only. That's why we have pointed to the only cloud services, ma. From tomorrow, we will be covering to the, I mean, we are going to cover the real-time examples and real-time scenarios, something like that. Okay, we are covering entire real time, not the theoretical. It is based on the practical stuff only. Okay, till SQL, you need the some online compiler, you can practice the SQL stuff. But once we have started the Azure cloud services, you need the free subscription, ma. For that we have the credit card or debit card, so we need to cover the Azure subscription. That is a free trial only. 30 days it will have the free trial. Okay, you can practice those things. Whatever we have covered in the class sessions, you can directly practice the sessions in the Azure cloud portal. We will provide 100% subject, ma. Okay, nothing to worry. Subject point of view you can ignore. Okay, okay, I think we are good. Still, if you have any challenges, yeah. Thank you, team. Thanks for joining. Have a good day. We'll meet in the next session. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Narasimha. You have
Yeah.
given
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
details.